Hello and welcome to News Tonight. I am Vishal Dahiya. Let's take a look at the headlines first. Delhi's Lieutenant Governor Najeeb Jung resigns from his post. His office says he will return to his first love, that is academics. War of words in Uttar Pradesh. Prime Minister targets Rahul Gandhi and Congress leadership with taunts and sarcasm in Varanasi. Questions his intentions to demonetisation. Congress Vice-President Rahul Gandhi responds to Modi's attack in Baharaich, asks the crowd why isn't the Prime Minister responding to his charges. And Ravichandran Ashwin named in the ICC Test Team for year 2016. No place for Virat Kohli, who is named captain of ICC's ODI Team of the Year. Let's look at news in detail now. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today hit out at the critics of demonetisation, alleging that just the way Pakistan gives cover fire to terrorists, the opposition is covering corrupt people. The Prime Minister also urged the youth to help him in his mission and move towards online banking, reserving his taunts for Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi, who had promised to expose him. Modi said that Gandhi exposes himself every time he speaks.
A day after the Congress Vice President accused him of receiving crores in kickbacks as Chief Minister of Gujarat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday took a dig at Rahul Gandhi. In a speech dripping with sarcasm, he chose to attack the Congress leadership in order to defend the measures his government has taken for the country.
जब से उन्होंने बोलना सीखा है और बोलना शुरू किया है, मेरी खुशी का कोई पार नहीं है। न बोलते तो बड़ा भूकंप आ जाता था और देश को इतना बड़ा भूकंप झेलना पड़ता, ये देश 10 साल तक उभर नहीं सकता था। लेकिन अच्छा शुरू हो गया तो पता चल रहा है भूकंप की संभावना बची नहीं, क्योंकि देश की जनता समझ गई।
On Wednesday, in the Prime Minister's hometown Mehsana in Gujarat, Rahul Gandhi alleged that income tax raids had revealed that the Sahara Group paid off Modi 9 times in 6 months since 2013. He also said that computer records from a Birla Group official during raids in 2013 refer to bribes to Gujarat CM. The Supreme Court had earlier said it didn't find any merit in these allegations.
ये क्या कर रहे हैं उनको भी समझ नहीं है, लेकिन अच्छा है किसी का काला धन खुल रहा है तो किसी का काला मन खुल रहा है।
The Prime Minister's broadside also included his predecessor Manmohan Singh.
कि 1970-72 से वो देश की अर्थव्यवस्था की कोर टीम में हमेशा रहे हैं। इतने लंबे सर तक और इतने साफ कुशलता देखो, कोई दाग उन पर नहीं लगता है। जब मैं कैशलेस की बात करता हूं, उन्होंने कहा कि जिस देश में 50% लोग गरीब हो, वहां ये टेक्नोलॉजी वगैरह कैसे हो सकता है। अब मुझे बताओ भाई, ये वो अपना रिपोर्ट कार्ड दे रहे हैं कि मेरा दे रहे हैं?
Manmohan Singh has critiqued Modi's decision to ban high-value currency notes. In a newspaper editorial titled "Making of a Mammoth Tragedy," Dr. Singh predicted a ripple effect on GDP and job creation and grievous injury to the honest Indian due to the demonetization decision of the Modi government. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi seemed unfazed by this attack by the Prime Minister. Sticking to his guns about personal corruption done by the Prime Minister, he reiterated the questions he had raised at the Mehsana rally. He asked the Prime Minister whether any money was given to him.
Unfazed by the Prime Minister ridiculing his charge of personal corruption, Rahul Gandhi on Thursday stuck to his guns, reiterating his charges against the PM. Raking up the issue of corruption once again, he asked Narendra Modi what was in the 10 packets allegedly given to him by the Sahara Group when he was the Gujarat Chief Minister.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी, ये सवाल मैंने आपसे नहीं पूछा। ये सवाल हिंदुस्तान के युवा ने, हिंदुस्तान के गरीब लोगों ने आपसे पूछे हैं। सवाल ये है कि प्रधानमंत्री ने भ्रष्टाचार किया या नहीं। आप मेरा जितना मजाक उड़ाना चाहते हो उड़ाओ, मगर आप देश के युवाओं का और मेरे सवाल का जवाब दो।
Earlier, the Prime Minister had ridiculed the Congress leader, saying he was happy that Gandhi has finally learned to speak. However, the Congress leader continued his tirade against the Prime Minister. He said his party would support the NDA government in its fight against corruption, but also emphasized that demonetisation or note ban was not against black money, but the poor of India.
अगर बीजेपी की सरकार, एनडीए की सरकार भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ कोई भी कदम उठाए, छोटा से छोटा कदम, बड़ा कदम, कांग्रेस पार्टी उनको पूरा समर्थन देगी, 100% समर्थन देगी। मगर नोटबंदी का ये जो डिसीजन था, ये भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ नहीं था, ये काले धन के खिलाफ नहीं था, ये हिंदुस्तान के गरीब लोगों के खिलाफ था, ये हिंदुस्तान के कमजोर लोगों के खिलाफ था।
At a rally in the PM's home turf in Gujarat's Mehsana on Wednesday, Rahul had accused Modi of taking money from Sahara and Birla groups when he was the Gujarat Chief Minister. BJP had rejected the Congress leader's allegations as baseless, shameful and malafide. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
As a part of his campaign against demonetisation, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal addressed a public meeting at the Ramlila Maidan in Jharkhand's capital Ranchi on Thursday. Speaking at the meeting, Kejriwal claimed that Narendra Modi government has demonetised 1,500 rupee notes to waive off bank loans of his rich businessmen friends that amount to lakhs of crores of rupees. He added that the government was adopting double standards on cashless transactions.
एक हफ्ते पहले जब आप लोग लाइनों में लगे हुए थे, लाइनों में लग के सारा देश पैसे जमा करा रहा था, एक हफ्ते पहले मोदी जी ने विजय माल्या के 1200 करोड़ रुपए और माफ कर दिए। विजय माल्या के 1200 करोड़ रुपए मोदी जी ने क्यों माफ करे? मोदी जी का क्या रिश्ता था विजय माल्या से? कुछ तो गलत तो नहीं कह रहे जी? कुछ तो गड़बड़ है, मन में शक होता है, भाई पैसे नहीं होंगे।
In a surprise move, Delhi's Lieutenant Governor Najeeb Jung submitted his resignation today. The LG office was quoted as saying that he will be returning to his first love, that is academics. Jung's tenure was marked by tensions between his office and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, who has often accused him of obstructing his government's work at the behest of centre government. Jung today, however, thanked Kejriwal for his help in office after submitting his resignation. Najeeb Jung is an IAS officer of 1973 batch. He resigned from the job and joined academics. Before becoming Delhi's Lieutenant Governor, Jung was the Vice-Chancellor of Jamia Millia Islamia University in Delhi. Reacting to the news, the BJP told media that it was Jung's personal decision to quit. The Congress, however, has alleged that Jung was probably not happy with the BJP, the ruling party at the centre.
He will go back to academics. He will spend holidays. He will spend time with his family. He is in touch with certain universities in US, and most probably he will take up some teaching assignment.
पहले मीडिया से ही पता चला और फिर मैंने एलजी साहब को फ़ोन किया. उन्होंने कहा कि वो पर्सनल कारणों से उन्होंने इस्तीफ़ा दिया है. तो मैं भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि ज़िंदगी में वो जो भी आगे करें उसमें उनको सफलता मिले.
The Election Commission has asked the Central Board of Direct Taxes to look into the finances of 255 registered but unrecognized political parties. It has unlisted this year for not contesting polls in the last one decade. In a letter sent to the CBDT chairman yesterday, the Election Commission sought necessary action in view of the provisions listed in Section 29B and 29C of the Representation of the People's Act 1951 against parties violating the law. Section 29B states that every political party may accept any amount of contribution voluntarily offered to it by any person or company other than a government company. In another development, the Income Tax Department identified an additional 67.54 lakh potential non-filers who carried out high-value transactions in 2014-15 but did not file income returns. The non-filers monitoring system was initiated by CBDT to identify people with potential tax liabilities. Non-filers have been identified based on information available in the annual information returns and TDS or TCS databases. The BSE Sensex and Nifty on Thursday fell for the 7th day in row as worries about the impact of demonetisation continue to weigh on market sentiment. The benchmark BSE Sensex plunged 263 points to end at 25,979.60, while the NSE Nifty fell 82 points to end at 7,979.10. According to analysts, stocks of metal, oil and gas, banking, FMCG, PSU and consumer durables and auto sectors led the fall. Brokers said sentiment remained subdued in the absence of any positive trigger amid sustained capital outflows by foreign funds in view of the approaching year-end. Let's now take a look at some more news from across the nation in Nationwide. In a setback to the Congress in poll-bound Goa, its legislator Pandurang Matkaikar on Thursday resigned as member of Legislative Assembly and joined the Bharatiya Janata Party in the presence of Chief Minister Lakshmikant Parsekar. Matkaikar, a third-time MLA and former State Transport Minister, is the second Congress legislator to quit the party ahead of the polls. The Uttar Pradesh cabinet has cleared a proposal to include 17 OBCs in the scheduled caste list. The OBCs who have been included are Kahar, Kashyap, Kevat, Malla, Nishad, Kamhar and Prajapati, among others. The proposal, seen to be aimed at wooing the ABCs in the upcoming assembly elections, it will now be sent to the centre for clearance. A BJP delegation from Manipur today met Home Minister Rajnath Singh over the United Naga Council's blockade issue in Delhi. The delegation appealed to the minister to take necessary steps to bring back normalcy in the state. The delegation also conveyed to the Home Minister that the state government is not properly utilizing the central forces sent by the union government. The economic blockade is going on in the state for the last 50 days. Let's take a short break here.
Biology happening at almost every scale on this campus, from the molecular scale to the scale of the study of ecosystems. Been involved in discovering mechanisms that are fundamental to all cells that are creating these endocytic processes. If you think about castes as interbreeding communities, small interbreeding communities, one can just see the consequences of consanguinity that castes would inevitably bring.
Watch Eureka with Professor Satyajit Mayer, Director NCBS Bengaluru on Rajya Sabha Television.
The sacred relics of Buddha were unearthed in Piprava in Uttar Pradesh. Buddhist monks from all over the world visit the National Museum to pay their respects. These charred bone fragments of Buddha are housed in the gold canopy gifted by the royal family of Thailand.
Welcome back. Expressing concerns over the increasing tensions between India and Pakistan along the LOC in recent months, outgoing United Nations Chief Ban Ki-moon urged the two neighbours to resolve their differences through dialogue and exercise restraint. The Secretary General, whose 10-year tenure will end this month, encouraged both countries to continue their efforts to deal with their disputes peacefully and through dialogue. The United Nations chief has avoided becoming embroiled in the Kashmir dispute, which India said is a bilateral issue recognized in the 1972 Shimla Agreement. Pakistan, however, has repeatedly brought up the Kashmir issue at various UN fora, but its attempts to internationalize this matter did not find resonance among the rest of the 191 members states of the United Nations. Russian President Vladimir Putin attended a memorial ceremony on Thursday for Andrei Karlov, the Russian ambassador to Turkey, who was gunned down in Ankara on Monday. Diplomats and family members gathered at the Russian Foreign Ministry to bid farewell to Karlov, who was 62. Putin briefly spoke to Karlov's wife during the ceremony and paid his condolences. Putin said he knew Karlov personally and has posthumously given Karlov the Hero of Russia Award, the country's highest military medal. Meanwhile, Turkish authorities have identified the assassin who had worked for Ankara's riot police. Russia has also flown a team of investigators to Turkey to help with the investigations. Russia and Turkey have branded the assassination as a failed attempt to derail a rapprochement between Moscow and Ankara, which has seen them cooperate more closely over Syria, where they have backed different sides in the conflict. Vladimir Putin's spokesperson has described the murder of Russia's ambassador in Turkey as a serious blow to the country's prestige. Both Russia and Turkey had said they would work together so that mutual relations are not affected.
Türkiye'nin genel Suriye politikasının değişmesi anlamında da etkisi olacağını düşünüyorum. Çünkü bu eylemden sonra Rusya Türkiye'ye daha fazla talepkar olacak ve Türkiye'nin daha fazla taviz vermesini isteyecek ve Türkiye'nin kendi pozisyonuna yaklaşmasını isteyecek.
Evacuations continue in Syria's besieged city of Aleppo. Rebels and civilians are being moved out of the city in buses. They are mostly headed for the Idlib province. Meanwhile, the United Nations has constituted a team to probe war crimes and human rights abuses committed during the Syrian war.
The UN General Assembly voted to establish a special team that will probe human rights abuses committed during the Syrian war. The team will collect, consolidate, preserve and analyze evidence as well as prepare cases on war crimes and human rights abuses. However, the resolution did not find favor with all member states. Syria's ambassador to the UN, Bashar Jafri, told the General Assembly before the vote that the resolution is a violation of the UN Charter against interfering in the affairs of member states.
إن ما تضمنه مشروع القرار المعروض أمامكم اليوم يثبت نفاقا كبيرا وفجوة هائلة بين النظرية والتطبيق. فكيف الحال إذا كان من سيمول عمل هذه الآلية هم رعاة الإرهاب في سوريا، وعلى رأسهم السعودية وقطر وبعض الدول الأوروبية التي تفننت في تصدير إرهاب أوروبي محض إلى بلادي وإلى العراق.
Meanwhile, in Syria's Aleppo, militants continued to retreat to Idlib province in the west. Evacuations of civilians also continued as snow fell in the besieged city. The withdrawal process, however, was slow as the deal made between the government and opposition militants dictates that pro-government supporters must simultaneously withdraw from the bases of anti-government militants. On Wednesday, 20 buses carrying militants and their families departed Aleppo, heading for Idlib. In return, 4 buses and 2 ambulances arrived in Aleppo from Idlib.
There was agreement just to be fulfilled from either parts, and we fulfilled the part which concerns us. But they broke it, and that's why we have to stop till they finish what they agreed with them. They broke this agreement, and we will not allow that. We should recommend that all the agreements should be fulfilled, 100%.
The Syrian army is said to have taken control of Aleppo on Wednesday after the last batch of fighters was evacuated. But a UN official and rebels said evacuations were not yet completed. There are around 2,000 fighters and civilians still waiting to be evacuated. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Let's now take a look at some other international news in Global Buzz. The death toll from the massive explosion at Mexico's best-known fireworks market climbed to 34 on Thursday. Meanwhile, authorities worked round the clock to identify the dead and treat the dozens injured in the incident. The authorities also added that the fireworks market will resume business as soon as possible. The explosion also left 12 other people missing and 58 people injured. German police raided 2 apartments in Berlin's neighborhood of Risberg on Thursday in order to find the suspect in the Berlin Christmas market truck attack. Meanwhile, 4 people who had been in contact with the suspect have reportedly been arrested. It comes amid an international manhunt for Tunisian national who is suspected of being behind the tragedy, which left 12 people dead. Three people suffered minor injuries after a truck driver damaged 41 vehicles during a police chase in Thailand's capital, Bangkok, on Thursday. According to reports, the suspect mistakenly drove into a bus lane and did not stop when the police attempted to stop him. China on Thursday said that people should not read too much into last week's US drone incident. Apparently, a Chinese naval vessel picked up a US underwater drone in the disputed South China Sea. However, they returned the drone on Tuesday after what it said were friendly talks with the United States. A massive fire engulfed about 140 buildings in Thursday in a small Japanese city on the Japan sea coast. The blaze started in the morning at a restaurant in the city. Fanned by high winds spreading to 56 kilometers per hour, it had reached about 140 houses and other buildings by mid-afternoon. Ravichandran Ashwin was named as ICC Test Cricketer of the Year 2016, as well as the Cricketer of the Year 2016 in the ICC Awards announced today. The 30-year-old became the second Indian player to hold both the awards at the same time, following up on Rahul Dravid's feat in 2004. Meanwhile, Virat Kohli was named captain of the ODI team, but in a big surprise, was left out of the Test team led by Alistair Cook.
The International Cricket Council on Thursday announced the ICC Test and ODI teams of the year 2016, but not without a surprise. Virat Kohli was left out of the Test team despite his superb performance this year. The Indian Test captain amassed a staggering 1,215 runs in 2016 from 12 tests at an average of 75.93. This amazing record included 3 double tons. England captain Alistair Cook was named captain of the Test side for the 3rd time, as Ravichandran Ashwin remained the only Indian player in the team. Joe Root, David Warner and Kane Williamson were picked for the 3rd successive year, while Dale Steyn made it for the 8th time in 9 years. The Test team has 4 players from England, 3 from Australia and 1 each from New Zealand, India, Sri Lanka and South Africa. Kohli, however, was named captain of the ODI team, which featured 2 other Indians as well, Rohit Sharma and Ravindra Jadeja. The ODI team has 3 players each from Australia, India and South Africa and 1 each from England and West Indies. In the annual awards, it turned out to be a double delight for Ravichandran Ashwin, as he became only the 3rd Indian player to win the Sir Garfield Sobers Trophy for being named the ICC Cricketer of the Year. The off-spinner was also named ICC Test Cricketer of the Year, becoming only the 2nd Indian player after Rahul Dravid to bag the 2 coveted prizes in the same year. Ashwin, who picked up 72 wickets from 12 tests this year, also contributed with the bat, scoring sensational 612 runs in tests. The 30-year-old had finished 2015 as the #1 ranked test bowler in the world. In other awards, South Africa's wicketkeeper batsman Quinton de Kock was named the ICC ODI Cricketer of the Year. West Indies' Carlos Brathwaite won the ICC T20I Performance of the Year award for his match-winning 34 not out of 10 balls in the ICC World T20 final against England. Bangladesh fast bowling
Anand Amritraj, who will feature as non-playing captain for the last time in the tie against New Zealand. Former South African cricketer Elviro Peterson was banned for 2 years for corruption charges. Peterson had admitted several breaches of CSA's anti-corruption code. The 2-year ban will be effective from 12th November this year. He is the 6th player to be banned following a corruption scandal which led to former international player Ghulam Body being banned for 20 years. Bayern Munich went into the winter break 3 points clear at the top of the Bundesliga following an emphatic win over second-placed RB Leipzig. Goals from Thiago and Alonso put the home side firmly in control before Robert mated 3-0 from the penalty spot. It was just a second league loss of the season for Leipzig, who are in their debut Bundesliga campaign. That's all in this news bulletin. In News Tonight, keep watching Rajya Sabha Television.